Alright. You could be
Oh,
live.
no. I need to kill this fucker. He's almost dead. If he kills me, you'll hear me scream. No. Oh, you will hear me.
That does look good, I think.
It looks pretty good to me. I like it.
It looks pretty professional, all things considered.
Yep.
How will I die?
If you need someone to like whip up something in like 20 minutes, I'm your person, and I'll still be 5 minutes late.
Right.
But eventually, we'll probably green screen with the screen on and actually put something on there. But it's kind of like, it's like the second or third like the soft reboot of the Canteen podcast. So I'm not gonna be worried about it today.
Right.
He's almost dead.
But let's see.
He's not quite dead. He can dance and he can sing.
I've done it. No. Why do you not explain that? Suck my right bollock, Matador.
Well, we begin the podcast in a stereotypical Tom manner.
Well, that was deserved. To be fair, that was second try, so I'll take that.
What did
The
he just
moment I
one shot you?
No, the moment I remembered, technically he did 100 to 0 me. I forgot dampness was a thing, and he hit me 3 times on one Magatsuhi critical turn, where he was gonna get 4 actions anyway, and he just one shot me.
Damn.
What?
Ladies and gentlemen, do not make your game like this.
No, do. It's the challenge of it. It's fun. I'm playing on hard mode for a reason.
Hey, you know what? That's important.
Bro, he hits me for a weakness. He gets another press turn. That's just deserved. I get it. The enemy should.
Anyway, hopefully the volume mixing sounds good. But welcome to the Canteen podcast, the least researched podcast on the internet. I haven't researched to see if there's one that's worse than us. I'm your host, KRanime, and obviously we have Methrael and Tom.
Hello
And
there.
we're in a very newer looking studio for us.
Yes.
You could even
Very
see
much
the
so.
pixels on the screen. Because I couldn't get a
Wait.
1080p version of the Nep Station.
You used to be able to count the pixels, so.
You know what? From there we're doing better, I guess, right?
It's a step in the right direction. I
But we have a desk. We have a logo. We always had the logo for a while. We have a desk with the logo, and we even have 3 of us moving around on screen.
Right? That's great. I love that.
That's crazy talk. Special shout outs to Meth who helped with some of the things I didn't know to do via Discord. Shout outs to myself for literally whipping, like I said at the beginning, whipping together most of the assets for this 20 minutes before the stream started. And shout out to Tom for being here, for being the guy.
Being Tom.
It almost made it more difficult for us, which is even funnier.
No, I should go back to that at some point. Make it more annoying.
Wide block.
But white blonde. Anyway,
Blonde had her gains, and we just had to.
no, she was just laying down. She didn't have any gains. It just he had a horizontal
God.
CG.
Well, you said wide blonde, but it didn't actually show on screen.
Oh no, I saw the white blonde. I
wanna
saw
see
it
it?
show up on screen. Just post it in the board. Just post it in the cat
Not
office.
here. Yeah, throw it in can off.
But no, we actually had
No.
things we wanted to talk about today. So Meth's like, hey, why don't we do like a more chill live stream? I was like, yes, but we don't have anything set up for it. And then Thus, we set up everything for it, like, and here we are.
I figured we hadn't really sat down and talked too much about, stuff that we wanted to shoot the shit about.
It's because we, so, like, the thing is, like, if you guys don't know, most of the time we get together, like, around 30 minutes to an hour before the stream starts with no plan on what to stream. So if you're wondering why we had to whip up the podcast set in 20 minutes before the stream started, that's the reason why, is we literally go into this without a plan. That's our normal. But guess what, guys? You're in luck. Can Team has planned ahead, but not today. We're planning ahead. We plan to plan ahead, if that makes any sense.
We plan to drop a plan. How about that?
So, obviously, we've been doing random stuff on Sundays for a little bit, which is fun and fine. But if you guys are wondering where Code is, he's currently he's having computer issues, so he might be away for a little bit. But I think once he fixes the computer issues and stuff, we will probably do like a longer series multiplayer game together again. So if anyone has suggestions, we'd appreciate it, because we don't have any ideas other than to play the same things we always do.
Yep.
And we seem to always default to them. Well, what's up, Meth?
Yeah. There's always Monster Hunter.
Yeah, no, that ain't gonna happen.
Never mind.
That won't happen because the idea will be, why not Guilty? No, not God Eater.
God Eater.
Yeah, it will just turn into no playing that, just play God Eater. So yeah, try again. Monster Hunter won't happen. The closest that there is one shop up, but that means I'm going to be playing games for the next 12 weeks with like 200 ping and not being able to play them.
Right, that's true.
Yeah, so yeah, keep in mind we have to, like, it has to be a game where we can all play together, and it also keep in mind it has to be a game where the ping's not too bad across a full ocean. Huh?
I dealt with that one long enough. I don't care if it's on Core Keeper's front. Its full game release is coming out shortly.
Yeah, I mean that's the problem with Core Keeper, right? That
was the only issue.
Yeah. Otherwise, Core Keeper's a lot of fun.
Game 1.0 is coming out soon.
Nice. Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I think that's in like a couple of weeks. Nice.
I know, today's like the first time we actually have a plan on like what we're gonna do in terms of talking and stuff too. And this was one of them, was like planning to talk about what we plan to do.
Yes. Remarkably, that is entirely accurate.
Hashtag scripted. Hashtag unscripted, because literally I just put it on a notepad and then no one else, I didn't share the notepad with anyone.
Right.
Another point we want to bring up is, this is something from Meth. You mentioned emulators again. So,
yes.
So we're gonna give the standard disclaimers for normal. We think emulators are fine. Emulation and emulators are fine. We think piracy is bad. Any questions? Any comments? I mean, what happened, Meth? Like, since you're the one that brought it up, what happened with, why did you want to talk about emulators again?
Well, the reason I wanted to talk about emulators again was because very recently, like in the past week or so, Nintendo, Sega, Lego, and the ESA all banded together and pretty much gutted a legacy backup service. I think it's called, what was it, Vim's Lair or something like that? Completely gutted them. And they had everything from like PDF records of the instruction booklets to playing old games, stuff that's now just completely lost media, all the way down to like magazine articles, I would think, potentially. And it was those four, Nintendo, Sega, Lego, strangely enough, and the ESA, that conducted that legal perch on them. So that was fun.
Yeah, I don't I didn't hear about this one. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah. And then on top of that, more recently, and I think this was actually just like yesterday, or either yesterday or the day before, there was a game modding site called Game Banana. And Game Banana was made for the express purpose of distributing mods for different types of games. One of the big ones that they had done was, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. So you can see where this is coming in. Nintendo came in and threw well, at least so far as we can tell, it seems to be Nintendo that was doing it. But they came in and they pulled a notice of copyright material to expunge. And yeah, so they're verifying right now to see if it was actually Nintendo and their legal team, or if it was just somebody, claiming to be them.
Well, so it
that's the
seems
initial-
that Vim's Lair archives like game manuals and box art and stuff as well.
Mhm.
Not just the video
Yep,
games
yep.
themselves, but they also archive video games that are, I guess, available for archive purposes.
Mm.
But that includes, like, I guess, more modern day games as well. Sometimes. I'm not 100% sure. Like I said, I don't know anything about the website.
Right. I actually didn't until I had to go digging into it after the notice came through. But go on.
Yeah. So I'm just based off like what I found online just now.
Mm.
Like I said, we're the least researched podcast on the internet. I said
Yep.
we're researching live.
Yep.
But yeah, no, it looks like Vim's Lair has been asked to remove many games from Vault on behalf of Nintendo, Sega, Lego, and the ESA. Even though most of these games are like, seems like most of these games are not
Actively sold in
haven't been sold in decades. Hopefully, it's the prerogative. It's their prerogative, so these games are not confident. But it was posted, I think. And this is from like a few weeks ago. It looks like. No. I mean, that sucks. It's like, and here's the thing, right? Like, I understand if I like on one side, I can see like, okay, game downloads being available can be like questionable.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, for archive purposes, I feel that it is a little unfair because essentially, as time passes, more and more of these games become lost media, and there's already like thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, of lost media games already. So it is a hit to the game preservation side of things. And I really wish that, gaming companies would stop hindering that, because, like, and I'm not talking specifically about Vim's Lair. I said, I don't know anything about the website. I'm talking from like a purely like archive perspective. A lot of the times companies are going to let these lost media become lost media forever.
Yeah.
To the point where like even like companies today, like for example, like when Square Enix had to made Kingdom Hearts 1.5 HD, or they didn't have workable or usable they didn't have a working a workable, portable version of the game. They had to build that thing from scratch again.
Jeez.
So, and it could be a language discrepancy in this particular case, the PS2 and the PS3, 4. I forget which console came out on first. But either way, like it's just like it kind of sucks. Like 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 and and like and like I've been very vocal about this. I've said this many a time, but like this is something I've been doing where I don't buy remakes anymore. Day of release. I'll wait for it to go on sale. I don't care. Like even if it's some of my favorite games, like I don't care if it's some of my favorite games. I'll just wait for a sale, wait to get a discount because I don't want to pay full price for a remake.
Right. Unless it's a full ground up thing in which the game is completely different.
I mean,
like the difference between FF7 and FF7 remake.
Yeah, I mean, like that it's a completely different
if you're
experience.
deciding to spend that much money on a worse game, go ahead, I guess.
All right, that's a different opinion. We can argue about that another day. The merits of FF7 versus FF7 remake
I
trilogy.
can't overly say much right now.
Yeah.
I am literally playing what was a bad game.
And to be fair, I think it's unfair the way game companies handle some of these things. Like, they should just allow some things to become like digital media for the sake of archiving, you know? Because they're not gonna sell it anymore. Then why are you blocking people from like just archiving it or preserving it or having a playable version for like future generations? Like, hey, look at where like this thing came from.
Yep.
You know, like, so like that's like kind of my stance on it. Like it's still muddled, and like I said, we're 100% for emulation and we're 100% against piracy.
Yep.
That comes down to it.
Yeah, one of the other things, and you reminded me when it came down to Kingdom Hearts 1.5 HD Remaster, was that they had even gotten to the point where they had to recreate it from scratch. They couldn't even reference their old code to see what was going on, or take a look at to see how it was compiled to begin with in order for reference. Like, they probably could have shortened their production time drastically if they were able to grab some of the older code.
Also, it's kind of like it's not a one-way street, because Nintendo has 100% used ROMs on their end too. Like, they use ROM on their end as well. So it's not like only pirates or people who rip their own games are using ROMs. Nintendo themselves have been proven to use ROMs.
Exactly.
Or other people's mods
the
and
whole
stuff.
virtual console thing.
Yeah. Like, there was a controversy of the Super Mario 64 in the Mario All-Star Pack. In the Mario 3D All-Star Pack, or whatever it's called. That, once again, they randomly decided that they were going to be like, okay, it's a limited run sale, now it doesn't exist anymore. It's also stupid, but that's besides the point.
Right.
Yeah, I mean that's essentially our kind of like stance on that. We had more to talk about, like, about this thing. Tom, do we want to get into Final Fantasy VII versus remake today?
I know people have a lot more to say on it than
I think we'll hold off on that one. You know what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna plan ahead. I'm gonna write that as a future topic. Future topic.
Dude.
Final Fantasy 7 versus remake. That'll be for we'll talk about that in the future.
No, you just let Code and Matt have an argument with each other.
Wait, an argument with each other?
It won't end well.
Code hates remake.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Huh.
Code absolutely hates remake.
You've been told this several times before, and you're still acting like you don't know.
He's like,
Dude,
surprised.
I have CRS, bro.
We tell you this every week.
Every week we mention Final Fantasy. There's a difference. Don't mention Final Fantasy every week.
Yeah.
But
whenever Final Fantasy gets mentioned, 7 and remake.
yeah, no, this
Also,
one, but this
you
wasn't
think-
on our topic list. But yeah, no, actually, I have a question for you guys. What do you guys think of the
Yeah.
trend of the remake, the remake trend
Yes.
in gaming industry, in the gaming industry today?
If they bastardize it, I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah, if they bastardize the original game, it sucks.
But do you think it's?
Fuck over 9? I am going to
But do you think it's fair that we're essentially, because like here's the thing, right? I paid full price for Final Fantasy VII twice, maybe 3 times for the PlayStation 1, and I also bought Final Fantasy VII Remake. Do you think it's fair that I have bought this game essentially like 5 times? The same game 5 times, essentially.
There is a major lot of difference between 7 and remake. But I see where you're coming
I bought the PlayStation 1 like 4 times, is what I'm saying.
Yes, but that's like
Because I bought the original twice. I have
No, but
bought the
that's-
digital version on older console ones. And I bought the digital version on a newer older console once. But I own it
but
like
that's like
4
it-
times over.
It's like if I was
PlayStation 1 version.
complaining about buying SMT5 Vengeance after having bought base 5 at retail price.
Yeah. It's like a lot of and like maybe this is like there's a more in-depth discussion about FOMO that we have to talk about too about this, but
Yeah.
like for example, like you know, just to name a few remakes, quote unquote remakes that have come out. Persona 3 Reloaded came out. Super Mario RPG Legend of 7 Stars remake came out. Thousand Year Door remake came out. There's talks of FF9. Obviously, it was a Final Fantasy 7 remake that wasn't really a remake. There's Dragon Quest 11 and 11S definitive version.
Yeah.
Doesn't 11S actually add a fair bit?
Well, here's the thing. But the thing is, like, both of them sold for full price.
Yes.
Yeah. And when they brought out 11S, they took 11 off of the digital store on Steam completely.
Yeah.
So
And Squeenix
people were
is
buying
a
one
good
before
example of
the
a
same-
company that I want to complain about specifically for this. Because, for example, Final Fantasy VII Remake, I bought it for the PS4. I can't get the intermission DLC on the PS4. Period. It
Even
doesn't
with
run
that
on the
fuck.
PS4. It was
It's
I
completely
was
fucked.
required to either have a PS5 or to wait for the PC release.
Yep.
That's actually the reason why I didn't buy Final Fantasy VII Rebirth yet. But because I'm still a little bit salty about that. Not because I didn't beat Remake. But I certainly lost a lot of motivation to even play through the rest of Remake. Like, once I found out the intermission DLC, or getting Final Fantasy VII Integrate was essentially PS5 exclusive at the time.
Yeah.
Especially as a fan of, like, Yuffie as a character. Like, from the original Final Fantasy VII. I was like, I was even more annoyed.
Yeah.
Like, if people didn't like Yuffie, apparently, I guess intermission made people like Yuffie better than, like, the original FS7, because she's kind of a bitch, and that's why she's funny to me.
Right.
She also leads to one of the harder side quests, because, spoilers, in the original FF7, if you do the Wutai side quest, she steals all your material. So for the first section of the Wutai side quest, you have no material, no material.
That's nuts.
Which is very funny.
It
But,
is very
if you know what you're doing, it's not that bad. If you don't know what you're doing, it can be very hard.
it's so funny. It's so funny.
It is very funny though. And it's definitely one of those side quests. So the moment you start, you have to finish it, or else you're gonna have to collect a lot more materia.
Right.
But yeah, like so Sweden is a good example of a company where they'll release like for example, Star Ocean 2. They've also done the Star Ocean 2 remake, but they've also did Star Ocean 2 second evolution. which was the PSP version, and they did the port of the PSP version onto modern consoles as well. For a PS1, originally a PlayStation 1 game. Now, some will argue that Star Ocean 2 is the best Star Ocean game. Because I think the Star Ocean fandom still is, like, it's either 2 or 4 that's the best Star Ocean game, which is fair. Not 3, guys. Everyone who says 3 is their favorite, it's not Star Ocean 3. And whatever the Star Ocean Faithlessness and Lootness, whatever that one was called, that's what I call it anyway. Like, literally, that was no one liked them anyway. But Squeenix and Nintendo are two companies that like to take away things and then give you the new shiny version and go, hi, take this one. And just to confirm, because I might be talking out of my ass in a moment if I don't. So I want to confirm this real quick, but I'm going to search Steam for something. Yeah, okay. On the flip side, Atlas, you can still buy Persona 3 Portable, and you can get Persona 3 Reload on Steam. So you can still buy both games. So you don't have to get a $70 game through a remake. You can get the original port of the PSP version, PlayStation Portable version.
Right. That's awesome.
So, yeah, what are your guys' thoughts on like remakes and stuff like that? Like, Atlas is also very infamous for it because, you know, how many versions of Persona 3 can a one company release? And the answer is a lot.
Right.
The answer is yes.
5 different versions, 5 technically different releases.
So they have Persona 3, they have FES,
portable re-release, and then
Persona 3 Reload, yeah.
So there's 5 versions because portable was released initially PSP exclusive. It's like Golden, you can say there's 2 versions. The Vita version and the re-release.
Yeah.
And then the re-release, as after it was available on Steam, it then got made available on Switch, Xbox, and PlayStation. So technically it's had 3 releases.
So
it depends on what kind of remake, because the Steam remake, the initial Steam remake for like Golden was just the base game. And then the next set of re-releases, which was with the portable re-release, this is a completely different kettle of fish. They actually added a fair bit of quality of life to like the Steam version, which they updated for free for everyone, the PlayStation version, the Xbox version, and the Switch version. What they did with the portable remake, and why I think it's a bad remake, is because when it was so low effort that when they was going through stuff, so the audio was worse than the PSP somehow, and they were using AI to stretch the artwork for backgrounds.
No.
Yes. So that's why the portable remake doesn't really have many fans, because overall the backgrounds and the audio was just worse than the PSP version. The fact that you could go to a PSP game and a Steam game released 10 years later and say the PSP game sounds better is an issue.
Yeah. It looks better.
Yeah, it depends if there's actual effort put in, like there was for the Golden remake, it's good. But if it's just low effort, then it can fuck off. It doesn't matter the game, but if there's actual effort put in the remake, it's fine. Like the Nitro Kart remake that came out. The remake isn't as good as the base game, but there was some form of effort put in.
But on the flip side, Tom, what if I put my conspiracy hat on and said the Persona 3 portable Steam release was intentionally really shit so that they could sell you Persona 3 Reload.
Uh,
And what if like
unironically, people say that.
and what if Nintendo purposely targets like archiving sites to get older games like taken off of them,
Yes,
so that they could re-release them on like their console, or
Yeah.
do a remake that will run for a limited time in some cases.
No, but if the rerun, so if
That's
the
conspiracy theory,
re-release
though.
is going to, unironically, you sounded like Twitter when the game came out. That's how bad you got. Unironically, those takes were there, but they were just like they've made this worse to push a
Specifically
re-release.
do that shit. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
no, because no. I understand that, like, especially for Atlas, like the reason why they did Persona 3 Reload was people were very unhappy with the Steam port of Persona 3 Portable, and to the point where like Atlas realized there was actually a big demand for a Persona 3 remake.
No, until there's one for 1 and 2 on the way by the sounds of things, but with the P3 re-release, part of it was the fact that there was no definitive version behind Reload. Like Gold, like Persona 4 doesn't need one. The definitive version is just Gold.
It's just Gold.
Same with 5. 5 doesn't need a remake. 3 needed a remake because of portable content.
Well, 5 had Royal.
Along with, yeah, but
Royal's technically the definitive version, but I know what you mean. Because one could argue that between Persona 3, FES, and Portable, none of them are a definitive version. They're essentially 3 different games of Persona 3 world.
You had the answer on one, you had FemC on the other.
Yeah.
People didn't like, a lot of people don't like going back and playing FES due to the stamina mechanic. I personally understand, now that I've actually looked into why the stamina mechanics are a thing, I completely get it, and I get why you can't control your characters, because it's rather fitting for the game.
Yeah.
Right.
But
It's thematic.
until the episode of Igus was released, there was no definitive version. There still technically isn't, because FemC is not in Reload.
Yeah. Although
Yeah.
Reload, they announced that they're going to do FES, right? As DLC.
Episode of Igus is on the way. It's
Yeah.
confirmed for August. So, the answer will be in Reload. There will just be no FemC. And FemC, they have to redo most of the entire game, redo most cutscenes, and change half of the social link. So I can see why they wouldn't, without charging $30 for it, which people would be rather pissed over. I would be too, but I can see why they won't. Because there's no winning from it. If they re-release it, they're gonna have to make it a rather expensive.
I mean, sadly, like, what can I say? Go buy Persona 3 Portable on the PSP, on the PlayStation Portable.
Yes, I've done that.
Yeah. I own it still.
Yeah. You can make an argument with Golden and Base P4 because Base 4 has got dialogue differences to Golden.
Does it?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, the dialogue.
Also, they scaled the difficulty differently, so like Golden's much easier.
Oh yeah, I did notice that.
So you have things that you can even say the same about like Nocturne and Nocturne re-release, because the re-release of Nocturne's a lot more buggy, and they reduced the chances of seeing Mop Beast die. If you've never seen that, the AI will take infinite turns until you're dead.
What?
Yep.
So oftenly it could just go Beast Die, get 2 press turn icons, buff, Beast Die, get 2 press turn icons, buff, Beast Die, and then just go Megadolian, dead.
Right. I thought that was supposed to be like a punishment mechanic for having somebody
That's
it's
something
random.
that the boss can just do.
It's RNG,
that
yeah.
mom can just do.
Yeah, funny.
Yeah.
It's really funny. Remember, this is SMT3, a game that is renowned for being a bastard.
Yeah.
So yeah, the game is meant to be difficult.
Yeah.
The game is unfair.
There's
Now-
a difference between difficult and fuck you, bend over.
Bullshit.
Well, I disagree with that. I feel like difficulty I feel like Fuck You Bend Over can be an intentional difficulty design. That was not intended.
Otherwise, you're just like any forced loss in any game is bullshit.
Right.
If you're like, fuck you, get bent over, is bullshit and wrong and shouldn't be in any game. Because forced losses are usually there for story reasons.
Force loss is fine as
Okay,
long as
so-
force loss doesn't mean game over.
No, so bullshit difficulties.
Dude, like what's it called? I was running just like I was just doing standard main story stuff in like Final Fantasy 14 the other day, right? And then literally
Apple
like
oranges
just
by
like
the
just
way,
with like bad luck, I just got one shot by the boss. I was like, what the fuck? This is a regular dungeon in the main story quest.
Yeah.
I walked up to it, I just didn't get hit by the attack. I was like, oh okay, just dodge, I guess.
Yeah, just don't get hit.
Just pay attention and
That's the
dodge.
solution.
Don't get unlucky and get knocked
Play
in.
the game properly, Smile.
Yeah, no, I just had very unfortunate knockback because it knocked me into the attack over and over again.
Remakes just have to be tasteful.
And then she one shot me. I was like, wait, what?
If a game is like 15 years old, I can understand just re-releasing it on a new system and just being like, spend like $20, $25. No one's able to get a hold of this game. So let's say now with like original DS game, like if they charge like 20, 25, it makes sense.
Yeah, but then on the flip side, like Pokemon Company will charge you like $90 for Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, they would. I think the best
I bought.
example is probably the Advance Wars update. Was the re-release. There was a reason no one bought it, and that's because it was a £50 game, a $60 game.
Oh, Advance
No one
Wars 1+2.
Yeah, but 1+2. Yeah, no one bought it.
I bought it.
It
was like- I thought it was like $30. Was it more
No.
expensive?
At release, it was released 60 USD. I bought mine on release night for £50.
Oh yeah, you're right. It was $60 on release, and then they dropped the price.
It was AAA price. No one bought it. No matter
Oh
the
yeah, I
game-
think I bought it when I was on sale, huh?
No matter the game, probably stuff like that would happen.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
another reason why
I will
really
say
like
at the very least they did
releases.
add things like voice acting and stuff that's pretty decent, but it is like so little compared to like what they could have done.
Yes, or did the game just? It
Advance
petered
Wars.
out. I just feel kind of bad for that franchise because they just have their good luck rolls are like nat ones.
Yeah.
Now-
War game. One day later.
Oh yeah.
One of the greatest tragedies in American history happened.
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah, Advance Wars does not have good foresight. Put it this
No,
way,
because-
But
how can you blame them?
with
Because
sheer
it's
bad,
the
it's just sheer bad luck. Yeah,
24
Straight up bad
hours
luck, yeah.
later.
it is literally sheer bad luck. With that said,
September 10th, 2001, Advance Wars. September.
Oh fuck.
A
Yeah.
date that went down in infamy.
anyway,
Yeah, a day before. Oh fuck. But it's very much dependent on the remake and how long after it is till it's released.
Right.
So what about what Atlas does then? Like the fact that they release like a more definitive version, usually like a few years after.
Do you think I care about that? I'm literally playing Vengeance.
Well, okay,
If anything, I'm happy about it. They've done it for many years, and it's actually made a lot of their games better by doing it.
yeah,
Original SMT3 was not actually a good game. They released Nocturne, put in the entirety of the Labyrinth. The game was regarded as one of the best JRPGs of its decade. That's the thing.
of its year, not its decade.
No, of its decade.
No,
Of the 2000s, it's up.
it doesn't make top 20 in the 2000s.
There could
Top
be
20
arguments.
SMT games?
No, of JRPGs.
And then, like, FPS compared to P3, upgrade. SMT4 Apocalypse, also an upgrade. Vengeance, already an upgrade. Royal, you can argue with.
Royal's definitely an
The
upgrade.
Royal content was good. It's
No,
just
Royal's
using the
an
concept
upgrade.
bad.
It's only for the fact that like the first dungeon, the first section is longer in terms of like all the gameplay mechanics and stuff you have to learn, but it still plays. You still finish it faster than the original.
Yeah, and the game's also kind to you as a whole.
I mean, Persona 5 itself is a kind game. It's not
Yes,
hard.
it was.
Yeah.
And then P4, it's Golden is the definitive.
Obviously, there's no
weapon,
right
but
answer. That's why we're just like discussing it. But
Yeah.
you know,
There are
obviously,
certain
we're just bringing up our
It's
gripes on some of the stuff.
dependent on the game and what kind of way it's re-released in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, if you take a look at, what was it, Secret of Mana, the original is like legendary, and then the remake came out. It was amazing at first, and then people found out just how buggy it was, and it was so much worse than
Wait.
the original.
Don't use the word buggy because Secret Mana itself is a buggy mess.
Oh, I know. But, like, there
Bro,
were the
you
original buggy
can't. There's
mess
no
things.
legitimate way to get the Sword of Mana without.
I know.
Wait,
I know.
what-
But, like, there are aspects of the remake that are worse
uh,
in buggy design.
What's your opinion on like base games that are legit just amazing, but then their remakes not living up to how good the original was, but still being fine games, like the Ocarina remake and Majora's Mask?
I really liked the Ocarina remake. I was a very big fan of the Ocarina remake. Majora's Mask.
Disagree with that. I feel like.
Excuse
So
me.
here's the thing, right? This is gonna be an even more controversial take than any of the stuff we said so far.
You're about to say you don't like Ocarina as a game, aren't you?
No, I love Ocarina, but I don't think it deserved the remake. I think that
The game would have been released.
I think that if they just ported a N64 version, the original N64 version of Ocarina Majora's Mask, it would have been a better job than them remaking the system
I
to make
very
it
much-
more PG friendly for modern day too, which is really
Would you have
stupid.
put it on the Wii U then instead of the 3DS?
Huh?
Would you have put it on the Wii U then instead of the
No,
3DS?
make it a virtual console, like a purchase as an N64 game that you buy for like $15
What, on the 3DS?
on the
or
3DS
Wii
as well.
U?
Yeah, on both, on the Wii U, and on the 3DS. Make it a $15 N64 or $20, whatever. I forget what the virtual console price for N64 games was at the time.
We don't talk about the price of the
Not,
Ocarina remake and
it doesn't
Majora's
matter, I
Mask, we're
guess,
not
though,
cheap.
because there's no virtual console anymore. Because there's no eShop.
And release the AAA prices as well.
Huh? No, they released for $40.
That still isn't great.
The 3DS ones released for $40.
Yeah, the
but
3DS
yeah,
one.
when they
When they first
did the
released, they were
virtual
60.
console ones, they were $10 a crack.
For N64 games, I thought it was 15.
I think it was 5, 8, and 10.
Oh, was it 5, 8, and 10? Okay, I'll take your word for it because I don't remember the price of that.
I'm pretty sure that was 5, 8, and 10.
Also, like, because one of the things I didn't like is I don't like the fact that they like kind of like family friendly did a little bit. Like they took out like
Oh yeah, they did change some of Majora's. I do remember hearing about
and they
that.
changed some of Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
Ocarina of Time is less offensive because they took because it ultimately it felt good as a remake to play.
Yeah. They added Master Quest, which was fantastic.
But
to the
Dora's
Ocarina.
Mask, I felt like they didn't do it justice,
You are correct.
which is
Putting
kind of
an
crazy
obvious
if you look at the
eye on
development of Majora's Mask in the first place.
everything. Yeah.
What,
Putting
so
an
you
object-
two would just outright say they're just bad remake?
No. There's aspects of Majora's Mask remake that I absolutely did like.
I'm erring on the side of necessary evil I'm gonna say that there are some people who never had the chance to play Majora's Mask, and the only way to play it was for them to play it was on a 3DS. I mean, like, yeah, the only way you're gonna play.
Yeah.
Because, like, you know, from the privileged standpoint, someone who owned the N64 and had the option to get Majora's Mask or not get Majora's Mask, like,
Yep.
there's what can I say? I got the gold cartridge, Ocarina of Time. Like, there's nothing I can say that makes it sound like, oh yeah, no, I had everything. I had the 1.0 version with all the glitches and funny stuff, you know?
Yep.
But yeah, that's the thing. Sometimes remakes can be bad, but are still necessary.
Right.
So it's still
Like-
very dependent on situation.
Here's a really good example too, is Trials of Mana. When they re-released, I think it was the Trilogy of Mana on PC and Steam, in which it was all of the original versions, I think that was amazing. But then they did a full remake of Trials of Mana that was in full 3D. And the game plays great, but holy shit, is the voice acting a misdirected travesty.
And just playing Japanese.
You probably could just play it in Japanese. Unless, I don't remember. I think I tried to play it in Japanese just because I was getting sick of the American voices and they were driving me nuts. And it's possible that I just flat out couldn't. I don't remember. I picked it up on the Switch, I think.
Yeah, I have it on Switch as well.
I can't
Well, yeah.
remember if I can just play it in Japanese.
The entire remake discussion is very opinionated because it's just where does what game need a remake? And
Well,
if
I wouldn't
they're
say it's
actual
opinionated, it's more
decent games,
substantial. Yeah.
Yeah, you
or
can play with the
because you've got
Japanese voice
remake-
acting, man.
and then you've got the remake versus remaster argument add on top.
Right.
Like, should they just remaster the entire game or remake it?
Right. That too.
And here's the thing, right?
Like,
The thing about console games versus like a living service game, right? A living service
Mhm.
game, you get like infinite patches and stuff. They can rework things with like new versions or new patches and things like that.
and then you've got fan service
But
as
then-
well
but
for
then, like,
certain games like that.
But then there's like console games essentially are usually one and done, unless it's a fixed bug. And then once they fix the quote unquote bugs, they usually move on to the next project anyway. If it
Right.
doesn't have DLC and stuff coming, you know? For better or for worse. So it's like here's the thing, right? If a game's gonna get a remake or a remaster or like a modern day release treatment, no,
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind them patching something. If it makes the game smoother, run better, etc. But if they kind of like step on the integrity of the original work they created, like the way they did with Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time censorship, like it
Mhm.
feels like they're taking away a bit of the soul for marketing, you know?
Yeah, I'll agree.
And like, and it's like, and like on the flip side, like if if you're Atlas and you make a Persona 5, and then you make a Persona 5 Royal, like 2 years later, and it's as good as it is, I'm like, okay, I can forgive that.
I still need to finish Royal.
I finished Royal. It was good.
I do remember the entire joke was about me actually getting to play that game before you even beat it. I got to play it, beat the entire thing, and then the joke just entirely died the moment it actually came to fruition.
Yeah, we knew it was gonna happen, dude. You're like, you need to finish Persona 5, not even Royal. And I'm like, before, Royal comes out, and I'll probably, and this is from you, you'll probably end up, beating the game.
I put like 70 hours in it in less than a week and then just stopped playing it, I think.
Yep.
I just had other games I'd rather play.
Yeah.
All right.
To be fair, the amount of good games I've actually stopped playing are horrendous. I prefer not looking at the list. It might be slightly cool looking at some of it.
And it happens to all of us.
And then I put 30 hours into Cyber Sleuth to just call it a bad game.
You know what? Sometimes that's gaming for you.
No, I did that just so Code couldn't say that I haven't played the game at all.
Right.
I put 30 hours and I feel like I'm like what should be halfway through this game, and the game is still kind of eh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, actually, I think I was a bit harsh on it. I don't think the game bad, but I don't think the game's good.
So it's just kind of like meh
It
or mid.
it's way too fucking grind.
Okay, I understand.
It just feels like it doesn't respect your time as a player.
Code seems like the type who would enjoy a game that doesn't respect its time.
He plays it DMO, has Digimon on it, he'll play it.
Code can respond. Code can
last thing that you think that
Code can respond to that once he has a working computer. Anyway.
no, like he knows that. He knows that. Everyone knows that. Something's got the
Everyone knows
Digimon
it,
label
yeah.
on it, he'll play it.
Anyway, moving on. So this is like kind of this one's anime related. Data Live is getting a new anime season.
Yes.
How many
And
seasons
I
of
think
anime
they're
does
like
Data Live have?
Is it
It's
5
either
now?
5 or 6.
Why does
At
it
this
have
point.
so many? Is it like is the story just continuing that much?
Yes, it does keep continuing that much. There are more seiyuu to be brought.
Dude, I have not watched a single. I don't know anything about Data Live.
That's probably for the best.
Like, I don't know anything about the games. I don't know anything about the anime. I know that Real Reincarnation was popular, and everyone's like, "What?" But it's just a visual novel. I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, the games are just in service to the anime. Just of a note, they are strictly in service to the anime and the manga. But Data Live is probably Sunako's most beloved franchise, bar none.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's why I said before stream started.
Yep. But you know, we are
Neptunia gets
fan.
so Data Live gets like 6 seasons, and then Neptunia gets like 2 shitty OVAs.
Yep. Well, in part that's because the world of Neptunia doesn't really grow at the same rate as it could in other mediums, because it's dependent on what things are happening in the video game industry.
I mean, to be fair,
Everything that happens in the canon
but
games
at
is
the
out
same
for
time, if they did an adaptation of like, which one is V2? A V2? Like that would
V2
probably do
is
very
the
well
one
as an anime series. Well, Uzumaki.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
And they actually did tease Uzume coming out as part of animation in the next one. But I'm wondering if they didn't see enough of a financial return in order to make that.
Well, the problem is it's just gonna be another OVA. Like,
Well, it could be.
like they don't release Neptunia series. They release
you're
OVAs, and the OVAs are like
that-
lackluster.
That's the thing, though. The anime is in service to the games, not the other way around.
It's not a service.
The anime.
Okay, I'll say the original Neptunia series is good.
Mhm.
It's a good watch. It's fun. It gets the point across,
Yeah.
right? But then, like, the OVA, the first OVA, it's just fan service for people who know, like, all the game references
Yep.
from, like, the first 2 games. And then the second OVA is just fan service. So it's like, how come Neptunia gets shafted? I'd say the Neptunia franchise gets shafted though, because there's some entries in that franchise are really bad.
Yeah, I can agree to that.
But then some
Like-
entries are just like pretty good, you know?
And some entries are just really, really good. Like V2
V2 is a good example of one that does its job and does its job very well.
Yes.
Sega Hard Girls spinoff was very good.
Yep.
Had a very fun gameplay loop, in my opinion.
SVS, very good.
I haven't played it yet, but
I find
I own it.
there are many people who argue with me though on SVS.
I like the VTuber one because, like,
Well, Virtual Stars.
yeah, Virtual Stars, because, like,
I do not like.
well, the thing is, like, once I understood how the gameplay worked, I was like, oh, okay, this game makes sense now, and then it's actually fun to play. Like, switching between the styles of gameplay, mid combat is fun.
Yeah, the melee to the gunners. Yeah,
And
the
the
gunners
references
are
to
not meant be
VTubers
taking
is just fun to me because I know.
Yeah.
But once again, that's fan service for, like, a VTuber fan. It's not fan service for a Neptunia fan necessarily, you know? But it doesn't like help the franchise in that regard. But
Seeing Ito Hako in a game though was actually pretty cool.
also, like, how does Data Live get like 5-6 seasons, and like there's like other beloved shows that like it's like they're like one and done or like two seasons, and then we're gonna forget about it forever.
I think the manga is tremendously popular in Japan, and it just keeps getting longer and longer and more.
How popular is Data Live manga? Let's see. By 2015, it sold over 4 million copies. Okay. And it's banned in a country. Cool.
Which country's it banned in? I gotta hear this.
I can't say on screen. Anyway.
Fair. Okay.
If you care so much, check on your end, Lyle.
Yeah.
I won't remember, but it's okay.
You could literally look now.
Oh wait, it's a light novel series. You mean, right?
Yeah, it's light novel.
You said manga. So okay, it's a light novel series. Wait, it's finished though. It finished in 2020. The light novel with 22 volumes.
So the manga, so the anime is just continuing to.
So the anime just continue with. Okay. Wow. It ranks top 5. The light novel ranks top 500 in light novel. Okay, that is kind of impressive.
Yeah.
Why is Data Live so popular? This seems like a question that a lot of people apparently ask. The figures sell well, apparently.
Yep. I mean, there's a Kurumi. The Crash Taste has a Kurumi figurine.
They're not the only
So
ones.
many people
A lot
know
of people have Kurumi figures without even knowing who she is.
That is also true.
Yeah, that's concerning.
But like, it's kind of like frustrating because, like, you know, like, Data Life's not the only popular light novel series, you know?
Yeah.
There's others. There's like No Game No Life, you know? Every No Game No Life fan complains. We got one season and a movie, and that's it.
Yep.
It's like, well, at
We
least
never
they were
got our
good.
second season.
Or like, what's it called? Okay, and maybe like sometimes like some series get like sequelitis where like it's good and then the sequel's terrible. I'm looking at you, Promise Neverland. Calling that shit out right away. One of the most, if not the most popular manga while it was serializing. The worst second season of all time. Tanked everything the first season built for it. Like, no, there's like so many like good manga series. And so many good anime series that I think deserve like more like adaptations or more sequels, you know?
Agreed.
Like
Agreed.
Konosuba season 3 is finally getting its you know, its third Konosuba's getting its actual third season, and it's phenomenal.
Yep.
Like everyone loved it. It's the same
I'm
Konosuba
having
humor.
so much fun.
Everyone thought like it would not go over well because, you know, how Konosuba is and Kazuma is.
Right.
But no, everyone loves it still. So like it's like, you know, obviously like, you know, there's some series that aren't getting their like adaptation stuff, but there's definitely series that's like, it's done. Good luck getting anything else from it. And like I feel like the Neptunia franchise got shafted on in that regard. I mean, it wasn't a light novel series, I guess. It's like games. So in that regard,
Right.
it's like whatever. That's just what it is. But one that I felt had a very like mediocre anime adaptation is I've been killing slimes for 300 years and max on my level. Because the light novel is, and like this is a problem between like light novel and manga versus anime adaptation. You can't put a lot of the personality sometimes into the characters in the anime because it's gonna be shorter. Like they're gonna cut out some monologuing, you know, or internal monologuing, like opinions and stuff, you know. Some of it can come across like facial expressions and reactions and things like that, but it's like what's it called? The example of a series that did a excellent job of adapting something that would normally have a ton of internal monologuing and stuff is Death Note. The Death Note manga, it's all like internal monologue and playing 4D chess against one another characters, where they're thinking like steps and steps ahead of each other and monologuing it to themselves, right? And then the anime series does some of that, but then does a lot more showing than telling, but it's done in such a way that makes it more very suspenseful and interesting. And it's like not every anime series gets that kind of treatment, or not every manga or light novel series gets that kind of treatment, you know? Like what's it called? I saw like a clip off YouTube the other day where people complain about Dragon Ball Z Kai versus original Dragon Ball Z, and it's like Dragon Ball Z Kai is more faithful to the original manga, and that's just a fact. It takes a ton of the filler out, you know, and it's more to the point. People complain, they're like, "Oh, it's not what I remember." It's like, yeah, but what you remember is 20-minute episodes with like 8 minutes of recap,
Right.
and like half a dozen episodes where Goku has to power up for a half dozen episodes.
Yeah.
Where little or nothing is going on other than Goku powering up. It's like, this is what you loved as a child, and you're misremembering as good now. It wasn't good.
Yeah.
And then once you get in a slightly more condensed format, you go, wow, why is it kind of like crappy? It's like, there were not every single moment of Dragon Ball is a banger. There were some crappy moments. It's still a goated series.
Right.
But like it's like especially these days, it seems like adaptations of anime are super quick. They don't take their time to like tell the story anymore. That's why I think like for a series I watched recently that I think I obviously didn't read the original source manga or anything. For Frieren, takes its time to tell the story at a very good pace that makes it go from like a 7 out of 10 series to like a 10 out of 10 series.
Yeah.
It does such a good job.
Free Run is all about that, though, and actually, now that you mention it, that's an interesting thing to see between the two, because Free Run is about someone who just kind of blazes through life, doesn't really care about things, and then realizes just how much life she missed
Well, okay, it's not that she's blazing through her life. It's just her lifespan's so long that everything seems to happen in a blink of an eye.
Right.
In comparison to her life.
Right. But still, like, in comparison, like, she doesn't really pay attention to how much time passes.
Yeah.
And then she finally realizes, you know, how much has passed her by, and she's like, holy shit, has my whole life been like this?
Yeah, she becomes very reflective of it, and that's why it, like, focuses on her journey.
Yeah. And I love that it's just like that. It's
Yeah. There has to be more series that do things like that. Like, and continues to do it if they do like a second or third or fourth season, you know? I would say Konosuba, ironically enough, actually gets that down pat. Because I read the light novels since I have read the majority of the light novels of Konosuba. I haven't finished it yet. I'm with the volume 15 out of 17, I think. And like, Konosuba's pacing is like A++ tier compared to the light novels. It does such a good job of adapting the story and cutting out the things that don't matter, that are more fun to read than they would be to show, so that you can tell the story better, you know.
That kind of makes sense. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, but not like, and I'm assuming ReZero does something similar, because I'm assuming people still like ReZero.
Yeah.
Or liked the adaptation of ReZero. I'd say a series on the flip side, that a super popular series that did that, actually, that got it completely wrong, is Sword Art Online. Super popular show, yeah, anime show, but when compared to the manga and the light novel, Kirito's a shell of a human being compared to what he was in the original source material and in the manga.
Right.
Because it's like, once again, it's like they're trying to show, not tell, but not showing like Kirito's struggles and stuff, like his internal monologues and things like that. Kind of just makes it so that, oh, why does he have all this stuff? Like, well, he's going through a lot of shit, or he was going through a lot of shit, which is why he reclused himself into video gaming more and more.
Right.
And like, that's kind of important to know. He's not just a god gamer that gets all the girls and blah blah blah. It's just, that's what I think it was PA Works that did it. Let me double check. I don't want to badmouth a studio without knowing. Sword Art Online animation. Oh, A1 Pictures. That's like one thing A1 Pictures didn't get right, is because it was during the trend of like, oh, let's make the main character generic so that people feel like they can relate.
Right.
And doing it for Sword Art Online, and Reki Kawahara is not a genius when it comes to writing either. So like, the bare bones amount of like quality is stripped down even further from going from Reki Kawahara's writing style, which I think is kind of like okay, to like A1 Pictures like adapting it to be like an okay show. A gateway drug, yes. A good gateway, not anymore. By a long shot.
Yeah.
But Sword Art Online is like one of those shows that's on par with like the Naruto filler at times, and like original Dragon Ball Z at times.
Right.
In terms of like it strips some of like the personality from the original, but the difference is like, at least for Dragon Ball Z, like dubbing wise, there's a lot of personality still somehow. At times, you know.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Oh, like, it's just the fact that Data Life's getting another season, I don't know anything about it. It's just like kind of baffling this day. It's like the fact that I didn't even know it was a light novel series until just now.
Right.
Once again, these research podcasts on the internet. To do our own research like day of, baby.
During.
Yeah, and this is like a conversation I have with people all the time about Sword Art Online. It's like there's a reason why SAO Alternative Gun Gale Online is a better series than the original SAO light novels are.
Yeah.
It's because it's written by an author who knows what the hell they're doing, and it clearly shows. It's there.
Yeah.
Because Reki Kawahara built the world of Gun Gale Online, and it's such a cool world, and then he did not capitalize at all with it.
Yeah.
And then different authors like, I can make Gun Gale but better, and he does. It's very funny. Yeah. Is there any anime or manga that you would want to see adapted to anime? Cause like on my end, like it's like so weird because like Rurouni Kenshin got a remake.
Right.
I'm like, why? We had a perfectly good Rurouni Kenshin show, and since Nobuhiro Watsuki has like become like kind of a scumbag in terms of like stuff.
Yeah. That's a conversation.
I'm like, why are we doing more Rurouni Kenshin again? And it's different from like, for example, when Fruits Basket got a remake, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because Fruits Basket gets like a remake, but the Fruits Basket remake is we're gonna be more true to the manga series. It's true, they stay more true to the manga series because the original Fruits Basket anime that originally entered like I want to say 2000, essentially adapts like the first 4 or 5 volumes of a 22 volume manga series. But obviously, as its anime original ending, it's like, okay, done. Cut and print, right? And it was good at the time. But like the Fruits Basket remake is gonna be more true to the manga series because there's 22 volumes of it. But like Rurouni Kenshin, it's like, oh, they're gonna they're gonna make it more true to the manga, and then they take out a bunch of the personality and humor that made the original series and the manga like more enjoyable. Like because like in a lot of cases, like the newer series treats the characters with more respect, which is a good thing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like in the sense of like, okay, it's gonna be less jokey, there's not gonna be some slapstick, it's gonna remain very much on theme and on brand for what it's going to be, which makes sense because if you know where Rurouni Kenshin goes story-wise, it just makes sense to stay that way. But man, the original soundtrack was so goated. There's a legendary composer that composed the original Rurouni Kenshin anime. And then if you read the original manga series, it's kind of goofy sometimes. It just is. Like, and they take quite a bit of that out. So it's like the very strange. And then they have some like. The newer series adds some anime original scenes that explains the inconsistencies of the things that happen in the anime slash manga, original anime slash manga.
Mm-hmm.
But there were liberties that the original anime took that made it more epic. Like I'm gonna reference something a little bit earlier. Hey, how's it, Brawler?
Brawler, hey ya.
And yeah, see ya. I'm gonna reference the what was it? Aoshi? Shinomori Aoshi, I think his name is. Shinomori Aoshi. That's his name? Oh yeah, Shinomori Aoshi, right? Shinomori Aoshi fight and the Takada Kanru fight after with the Gatling gun. In the original manga and in the new anime series, essentially what happens is like, there's this epic fight between Aoshi and Kenshin, and then Takada Kanru, who's like this like who wants to become like a weapons dealer, right? He's a scumbag of scumbags, right? He buys a Gatling gun.
A what?
A Gatling gun.
in Kenshin.
Yes. The,
A Gatling gun in Kenshin.
you do realize it takes place during the Meiji Restoration, right?
No, I did not remember
The
that.
technology for Gatling guns already existed by that point. Yes. It time period wise, it would take some smuggling and some some arms dealing, but yes, it would have been possible at the time, in theory, right?
Right.
So in the original manga, and in the remake of the newer remake of the anime, right?
Yeah.
Essentially, Takeda Kanru essentially sprays bullets and just runs out, and that's how he's defeated, right?
Yeah.
And it's a cool moment and stuff, but man, in the original anime from I don't remember if Rurouni Kenshin was from the 90s or from I'm pretty sure it's from the 90s at the time.
Yeah, I think.
In the original anime series, literally like Aoshi's like the main his main crew, right?
Right.
They actually get something stuck in the Gatling gun to make it so that it it can't fire.
It jams, yeah.
Yeah, it jams, and the Rurouni and then Kenshin knocks out Kanru while when he gets distracted, essentially, and then the thing gets stuck.
That's pretty cool.
Which is a way cooler moment. And so it's things like that like those kind of slight differences, the liberties that the original anime took in terms of some of the characters and stuff are kind of weird. They introduced a random sumo wrestler that never existed in the original. They gave the elderly doctor and both the original anime series and the newer anime series, they took out the fact that the doctor that Megumi eventually works for, he was kind of a pervert at first, and they just take that out completely in the animes, in both anime series, because it was just like a tongue-in-cheek joke. It didn't make sense to keep it, right?
Right.
But and they obviously take out in the original anime series, they gave that doctor 2 grandkids for no reason. Just have 2 cute children in scenes in the day-to-day side of stuff for I don't know. Look, Kenshin's likable. Children like this guy. I have no fucking idea. I literally don't know why they added 2 It was the thing in the 90s and 2000 animes. They'll just add characters for no reason, right?
Right. They probably felt that they needed to fill out the
roster.
Yeah.
They clearly didn't get past I don't know. Also, I mean, I could talk about the music all day, but there's nothing you can do when you're competing against a legendary composer in the industry. The original music is it's just better. And that's just flat. It's just flat out better. Period.
Right.
As one of the greatest scenes during the goodbye scene. It's just it can't compare. So it's so weird, watching this adaptation of. It was so weird watching this adaptation of Kenshin. It's just as good as the original, but for different reasons. And there are definitely moments that don't hit as hard because they want to be more faithful to the manga, but that takes out the goofiness of the manga, so it's not even more faithful to the manga. They could have taken the cool parts from the original anime as well and adapted that and rolled it into the newer anime. It would been fine.
Right.
I don't know. That's my criticism on Kenshin specifically. But why did it get another remake? The original anime series is fine until it goes off on its own and does its own thing, and that's what the OVAs are for. To finish the story that wasn't finished, you know?
Right. Right.
Sometimes very poorly, but whatever. It's what we got. I don't know, cause like there's like other series I'm reading. Like I read like Shoulder of Coffin Kuro, and it's like I would love to see an anime adaptation of that, but I would not know how well it would be done.
You know what I want to see in anime, or yeah, it'd still be considered anime. Representation of
What?
is actually a manhwa series.
Manhwa's getting more and more popular, so it's entirely possible. Well, which one?
Immortal Regis and Cavalier of the Abyss.
Okay, I don't know that series. Don't be on it, Matt.
Sell you on it? Okay.
Yeah, what is the series about?
God, it's been a long time since I've read it. Fuck. It's about a Korean gentleman who, for some reason, ends up getting caught up in demon family politics.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually has to find his way through a political turmoil struggle to prevent a war from spilling out. I think it has something to do with his brother at some point. I can't tell you on it.
Okay, so it's like a politics-based story.
What'd you say?
So it's like a politics and power struggle-based story.
It's a politics and power struggle based story, and then there's like a huge time gap between Immortal Regis and Cavalier of the Abyss, and the perspective shifts. So everything just very much it gets very cool.
That sounds interesting.
Yep.
You know what show you just reminded me of? That
What's that?
So I'm a spider, so what?
So I'm a slider, so what?
So I'm a spider, so what?
Oh yeah.
Because that one, like, your like main perspective is like the spider, and then it's like switches to like the rest of the class that's still like alive and like doing their thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then you realize like the events of one of the story of like the spider that happened before the events of like what like the rest of the class is going through. It's like a very interesting, like, when you see everything eventually come together, it's very interesting at the end of the show. But also a show I would not mind seeing the conclusion to animated. It has a very cool story.
What is it?
What? Bone and Spider, so what?
Oh, you're still talking about the same one.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I'm saying like I would love to see like a second season or beyond that concludes the story.
Right.
It's really cool where it's a really cool moment they ended on, but it has a really cool ending. How about you, Tom? Is there any anime or manga that you can think of that deserve either sequels or adaptations?
Not from the top of my tongue. If I meant.
I'm just vibing. I can talk all day on anime though, like, cause like for me, like, I don't know. I guess in this regard, I live up to my name as Korean anime, or as anime fan, because like there's so many anime series I go, man, I wish I had more of it. Like, to the point where I've literally gone and bought the manga series and read the manga series to finish it. One is New Game. New Game had such a great... It was such a fun, like, premise and look into, like, the Japanese video game industry that I went and bought the manga series. All 13 volumes of it. And read it all. And the manga series is pretty dang good as well. And I will say, so I have a complaint about Shirobako, which is about the anime industry, which is an anime-only show. And New Game, which is about the video game industry. And the complaint and the compliments can be for the same thing. So New Game shifts the focus from like the video game development process to like the politics of like characters' various goals and aspirations of what they want to accomplish in the video game industry. And they do it in a very seamless and natural way in the manga. And to an extent the anime, but the anime really cuts off right around like when those would start coming into play, and really is more about the video game creation process and the politics around that. Whereas Shirobako, the main series is an excellent representation of like the anime industry. And then the movie that they released, like I guess 3 years after the original release date of Shirobako, is like they try to like play up the kind of like the characters' rise and motivations thing, but because it's done in a single movie and it feels a lot more haphazard, it just does not hit. And the movie, in my opinion, is pretty mediocre. It like betrays kind of like the expectations that I expected from the series, which is more about like the anime industry, the politics are surrounding creating an anime series and stuff, you know?
Right, yeah.
Which I thought that is where it was going to go to, because it's kind of like about like the revival of the animation studio that like these characters worked at, right?
Yeah.
But then like it goes into like some kind of like tropey like feels good like random stuff. What the hell? It loses you, like it's too long. The movie's too long. The plot is really dumb at times. Like the quote unquote main antagonist makes like situation makes no sense, because that shit should have been solved like literally at the very beginning. Not like randomly introduce a random problem like the majority of the way into production kind of thing.
Right.
And New Game doesn't do that. It's more like if you read the manga, the character struggles make a lot more sense. It's like because like it focuses on Tsukasa Alba, who wants to become a character designer, right? And so like the natural progression from her becoming a character designer for like a game to like then the conflicts that follow, like being in a competitive industry where there's people more talent that you might compete against that are more talented than you and stuff, makes more sense, you know? And to have that human kind of like element to it in the later parts of the manga, yeah, it didn't make sense for Shirobako, because like Shirobako was like very much focused on the anime industry and like creation of anime series and deadlines and stuff like that, and it's just like it doesn't do as well in my opinion.
I'm reminded somewhat. You've seen Agretzko, right?
I've seen only the first season of Agretzko, but yes, I've seen the first season of Agretzko.
It reminds me a little bit about how Agretzko runs. Because Agretzko is, as you've seen, and I know a number of people who have seen, is all about office life and work culture in Japan. And how, like, there's politics and money that all go into that, and how it runs, and the reason it runs the way it does, and all that. And it's just like, it's an interesting, introspective look at the inside workings of, like, Japanese society for you know, people who are, like, businessmen.
Yeah, like, but like a Japanese salaryman lifestyle. Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's like, you know, working yourself to death pretty much every day, and then, you know, going home, taking a little bit of, you know, comfort in your day-to-day stuff, in like your hobbies and stuff, if you even have the chance. Otherwise, you're just going out and drinking with your coworkers because it is the standard thing to do, and then going back to work the next day. And it's like, I feel like each one of these is a different introspective, and always, I think a good amount of them actually deserve some, expansion as well. Because Agretzko had like 5 seasons, and each time they hit something new that deals with, how being a salaryman in Japan is affected by other parts of their lives. Like, people get their addictions, certain political parties start, exerting influence over businesses, people have their interpersonal relationships, there's, the dating aspect of, trying to not be alone in a society like this, like that one. And, like, there's always more to go. So I'm always interested in seeing what the next season is going to show. But I think Agretzko, stopped season? But it's what made it's what I was reminded of when you were talking about Shirobako, because that one being basically the same type of this is how life is for someone who's in the anime industry. And then, as you mentioned, New Game is very much this is how life is for somebody in the game industry out there.
Yeah.
So, and it always, I think all those deserve more expansion, but I agree that they're not for everyone, because some people will find them really damn interesting, and then others will look at it and say, why the hell do I want to, watch a show about reality? I want to escape reality.
Well, that's the funny part of the Agretzko is like a lot of people feel that reality. And that's why people liked it in Japan so much.
Yeah.
It's like relatable.
Yeah.
And also obviously like someone like myself who's interested in like anime, I find a show like Shirobako so interesting because it's about the anime industry and like the creation of anime. And on the flip side, it's like, because like Shirobako even like they have like scenes where it's like they talk about like traditional art versus CG, and like schedules and deadlines and like like freelancers and like and things like that too,
Yeah.
And like in New Game, like there's like a conflict where in the manga where they use a what's it called? What's called when you hire another company to do some work for you?
Subcontracting?
Yeah, they subcontract some assets. The assets come back pretty shit, and they're like, "What the hell's happening?"
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Like it's like having moments like that is interesting because it's like because like it like I don't know, it's like there's something about like seeing behind the veil that makes it interesting, And I wish that there were more shows like that, because like there are a lot of shows that do that kind of thing. Like for example, like one of my favorite shows is Idol Master Cinderella Girls, because like season 2 especially, it's about like the restructuring of the company and going like, well, we need to make profits and money, and like the idol industry and like running around with all these like, random idol variety stuff is like it's not going to make money, so there's going to be layoffs and cuts and stuff. And it's about like turning around like or reorganizing a bunch of projects into like profitable projects where everyone can contribute,
Right.
And ultimately it is about like chasing your dreams and like, or the idea of that like you can polish off like a piece of sand and happen to find a diamond, things like that, like as well, because obviously idols are all about like accomplishing your dreams and stuff. But the reason why the Cinderella Girls anime series is so good is because like it takes a harder stance against the idol industry in terms of like, you know, like will people actually make it as an idol and things like that, you
Right.
know? Which I like, because it's like it's different from just like, oh, we're idols, everything's shiny, smiley, go lucky, super happy. But even like the that even like you know, like virtual idols and stuff today, like, you know, obviously shit happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, now I got thinking introspectively.
I mean, like even shows like that time, what's it called? Not that time I got reincarnated, because that's a little bit less realistic. Where
Yeah.
someone randomly gets stabbed. But I've been killing slimes for 300 years and maxed out my level, right? The main character,
Yeah.
like, she dies from overwork.
Yep.
She literally dies from overwork, and then that's why she wants to live like this more lazy, relaxing life. You know?
Yeah. There was another one who, it was a guy who was working in a game industry, and he was working on I think it was some kind of online game or something like that, and he died from overwork at the office. And he got brought into the world that was, like, very related to his game. He's just like, oh, this is gonna be fun. Let's crank the stats and see what happens. And now he's in the game, and that's his life now, and he's like, well, this is different.
Yeah. And like, yeah, and like a lot of there's a lot of isekai that are like more grounded in reality than just getting hit by truck hood these days.
Yeah.
I mean, ReZero is like the classic example of what the fuck. Squirrel blinks and he's just in another world.
Yeah.
And
And there's still no explanation as to how he got there or why.
oh, okay. I was gonna say, like, I didn't read like the light novel or anything, so I have no idea like how that started.
I don't. They might have expanded on it in season 3. I haven't seen it yet.
I haven't watched. Well, I haven't read the light novels or anything either. I thought you read a little bit of light novels originally.
I have not.
Okay.
I've heard about them. Because
I just know what one of the major things that happens in like the light novels.
Right.
That is really fucked up. But that's besides the point.
Yeah, I had my predictions about certain things within the light novels, but
But my prediction still stands for ReZero. I'm still predicting that like the very first run through, he was not with Amelia. He was with the witch, the actual witch.
the actual witch.
Yeah. Which is why she introduced herself with the witch's name. And Puck was surprised not because Amelia lied about her name, but because Amelia gave her the witch gave her real name to like this complete stranger. That's still my working theory, and that's why he has this connection to the witch with his like life unto death curse, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
That's still my working theory. A bunch of people have told me that there's things in the light novel that will disprove it, but I haven't read it, so I can't get disproven. I haven't watched season 2 even, so I don't even know what happens after season 1.
Right. Definitely watch season 2 because it's really good.
Even season 2 I have to still watch season 2 and 3 of Rise of the Shield Hero.
You don't have to watch season 2 of Rise of the Shield Hero.
I mean, everyone says that, but then how am I gonna watch season 3?
You don't.
Dude,
Rise of the Shield Hero started out.
Dude, you say that, but I'm gonna tell you this right now. Overlord season 4 is fucking goated. If you don't watch Overlord seasons 2 and 3, how are you going to enjoy that?
True. That's fair.
I sat through Overlord season 1, 2, and 3. 1's amazing, 2's okay, 3's and 4 is also really good. 1 and 4 are the standout seasons.
I don't know. Yeah, I've been reading the manga for Shield Hero, and I understand why they say that, you know, season 2 and season 3 are not great. And I'm like, well, if they follow the manga, that makes sense.
Okay.
So.
I mean, Konosuba is going to be a great ride. Like, if they adapt it all the way to the end, be a great ride the entire way through as well. I'll say.
Yeah, I agree.
Like reading the light novel up to where I got to so far, which is like 15 out of 17 volumes, I guess, which is pretty much like almost there, right? It's just good. That's a good adaptation. And the fact, and like on the flip side though, No Game No Life seems like it should be very interesting, like novel wise. Like I don't know why there isn't more. You know?
That's a good question. Yeah, I wonder.
Like,
if
I hear
there's-
because I heard the prequel movie essentially, like No Game No Life Zero, essentially. Like that stuff happens like in like later light novel volumes. Like they touch on those subjects. So it like skips like a few volumes to tell this like prequel story. But it's like, well, then give us the rest of the stuff. Keep it going, you know?
Right.
It was like the adventure truly was starting at the end of No Game No Life. And then that's where it ends.
Right.
I'll say on the flip side, Steins Gate and Steins Gate Zero. I'm gonna say this right now. A lot of people don't like how, like, the fact that, you know, Steins Gate, like ReZero, has the problem where you have to sit through essentially 14, 15 episodes before it starts really getting good. I would argue that ReZero actually you have to go through a few more than that even for it to like get good enough for you to keep watching. And that when they did the director's cut re-edits of it, where it's like the double episodes, it made it much more watchable, in my opinion. First of all, second, Steins Gate original visual novel versus Steins Gate anime. I say the anime is better.
Really?
Yeah, I say the anime for Steins Gate is better than the original visual novel. And the reason isn't because like the original visual novel, oh, you can go through all the different routes one after the other. But it's essentially the Steins Gate anime. It feels, and here's the thing, right? You have to do some random shit in Steins Gate to get true ending. And then you're locked into the true ending, essentially, if you make all the correct choices to not get any of the other endings, right?
Right.
But Steins Gate, the anime, essentially goes through all the necessary steps to get the true ending, and it just feels natural the way it does.
Okay.
And that's why I think the anime is better than the visual novel. On the flip side, though, Steins Gate Zero, I would not be able to decide between the anime or the visual novel. They're both equally goated. Which is a tribute to the fact that they did such a good adaptation of Steins Gate and Steins Gate Zero as an anime. You will miss stuff if you don't play the visual novel, but the visual novel does have a bunch of like its own like endings, for better or for worse, you know, where you get to the true ending, which is because the anime is going to go to the true ending regardless, right? In that regard, Steins Gate Zero's anime is worth the watch. For so long, I decided not to watch Steins Gate Zero because I heard it was going to be much more depressing. I was like, oh, come on, man. Can't do this to adult cover Bintaro like that, right? The main character, but like, it's done very well.
Yeah.
And the reason why the anime is so good is because Steins Gate Zero literally has, before you can get the true ending, you have to see one of the quote unquote bad endings or endings, normal endings, right? Which is like that has a huge revelation on one of the characters. It's like very important, but you can just build that into the true ending,
Right.
and still tell a story because that's what Steins Gate Zero's anime did. And both, I wouldn't be able to decide which way is better because having that huge reveal is crazy good too. But then again, you know, I own the game. I didn't play it. I watched a 30+ hour playthrough of someone else playing it.
Oh, I know who that is, right?
It's Ecobee.
Yep, I
One
knew
of
it.
my favorite Let's Players, because he does a bunch of voice acting and stuff, and his voices are great.
He does it. He does
Inspires
a good
me
job.
to like want to like act out roles and stuff when I play games too, which I try to do.
Yep.
To varying success, you know.
Yeah. Yep.
Oof, I can't really think of too many more that, like, I really want to see redone.
I can keep going, man. I can 100% keep going. Am I the weird one? Maybe I'm the weird one. Maybe I just live up to my anime. Like I said, I live up to my anime name in these situations, you know.
You definitely do.
Um,
Like I feel like I've fallen off the train.
Well, here's one I saw like a few people online talking about. What if we had a Soul Eater remake instead of getting the anime only ending, but got like had a more to the manga ending? Only because like the Soul Eater anime's ending is really goofy.
Is it? Well,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think the Soul Eater anime was presented as it's meant to be goofy, isn't it?
The characters are goofy, but the story itself is actually pretty serious for the most part.
Oh, fuck me.
I'm assuming you guys haven't watched Soul Eater, huh?
I said that, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well.
I haven't seen any Soul Eater, and I'm assuming that Tom has fallen asleep by now.
Is Tom gone? Tom, are you alive?
No.
Okay, that's fair. Funny part is, right? Like, we could talk about like remakes and stuff like that, but like, Tom is definitely like, this is when like the fact that like Tom is like 10 years old, younger than I am easily comes into play. Because like I've seen like the waves of like anime and manga and stuff,
It's more than that.
but yeah, I mean, yeah.
You're
but
like 14 years older
it's
than
like
me.
yeah, we have like a 15-year age gap or something like that.
Both of you are.
I know.
We know.
Oh, you know what? You know what
You
anime?
just had to make it sink in.
You know what manga series I read that would not make it? On the flip side, there are a few manga series where I would not want to see an anime adaptation. So I've been rereading Gao Gohan recently, which is about a gyaru who like learns how to cook and stuff, right? And, like joins a cooking club.
Right.
Because like she's not good at studying or anything, so like essentially like the headmaster like at least like make some cookies and apologize to your teacher. Shit. Very like sexist of that headmaster or whatever, right?
Right.
And main character Miku, she's like not really motivated to do better because a lot of people like basically like he finds like a lot of like the process of learning basic stuff like that difficult, right? As you know, as it happens sometimes. And so like and then the home ec teacher who opens a cooking club, he's like one of the few people who doesn't give up on her. And of course she loves him now.
Right.
It's a very cute story. It is between a teacher and a student, so that is weird. And there's a lot of fan service because it's manga panels. I guess you can do that.
Yeah.
I don't think it'd make a good anime adaptation, but as a manga series, I like it's like for free. It's like it's fine. It's like popcorn. I enjoy it.
It's like popcorn.
Yeah, I like.
That's fair.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm gonna say I'm gonna call it as it is. Like I enjoy the show. I enjoy the series.
Yep. In small bites, it's great, but it's not good for you.
Oh no, I just enjoy it in general.
Oh.
It's like I think it's like 10 volumes long only. It's like 60 something chapters and like that's it. And it's just a fun read. Alright. I think we're gonna call it there. I think we said what we had to say.
I think we did. Yeah, it was an interesting bit of conversation, an interesting set. So
Hey, you know what? Shouts to the set working. Shouts to Tom not going wide blonde on us. Thanks, Tom.
right.
And
I forgot about that.
and shouts to you guys for watching. Have a good one and peace.
Take care.
Hey.
Hello. If you liked what you saw in this one, this was kind of a test. I've been wanting to start a podcast with my friends for a little bit, and we plan to do this with some regularly. Also, I know that some people may not know this, but we actually do have a Twitch channel. I'll put links in the description for our individual channels as well as our Twitch team one. We've gotten access to the YouTube again, and I appreciate those of you who have stuck around, wondering what happened to all of us. I'll have links to all of our socials, so if you guys get updates and stuff, as well as our Discord. So, once again, this is Korean anime fan RK2K on behalf of Can Team. To just have a quick thank you for watching this first experiment. Thank you so much, and bye-bye. Hope you have a good night, day, evening, whenever you watch this.